So this is my 87 Grand National. I've had this car for about 15 years now, and it doesn't really get used very much at all. When I bought it, it had about 16,000 miles. Now it's got 24,377. First few years I had it, I did use it a lot. It was like the only classic, you want to call it, older car that I had. So I was doing car nights and driving it all around. First few years I had it, I did a lot of work to it too. It had been sitting, when I bought it, it had been sitting a long time, so I did a lot of maintenance on it. Then I had a problem with the transmission, had the transmission rebuilt, new torque converter. Then I started doing some upgrades, like a bigger turbo. This is 5931 or 5957, I forget. One of those smaller kind of upgrade turbos. It has the Duttweiler neck welded onto the stock intercooler. It has a 3-inch stainless downpipe. I changed the injectors out. These are, I forget, I believe they're 80-pound injectors. And I run it on E85, which meant I needed to do a larger in-tank pump. So it has the Deutschwerks 300 with the stock fuel feed line and a 4AN. I added a 4AN stainless braided return line. Reason being, the factory return line is very small on these cars. I forget if it's 5/16 or something. And the pressure at the fuel pressure at idle was way too high. It was like 57 or something. These cars, it should be like high 30s, I think, is where it is now. Once I put the larger return line, I was able to get it down to that level. Also did the newer style, like LS1 style mass airflow sensor and a bigger air intake. Anyway, I did all that, and then, I did tires. Everything else is pretty much stock. And then after a bunch of years, I kind of just lost interest. And then in 2017, I got this Buick, which is a 67 Buick Special. And it's got a 430 Buick Big Block. And then this was my project for the next several years. And then I just went crazy after that. And then I got my 86 Olds 442 and then my 84 Camaro Z28. And those two things were way bigger projects. They needed all kinds of work, and that took up my time. So this car gets maybe 100 miles a year. Anyway, I've always wanted to do the Hot Rod Power Tour. It's been going, I think this is the 30th year. And right since the beginning, I was always interested in it, and it just never happened. So my son is going to be 9 this year, and he seems into it. He seems really into it, so I think this is going to be the year for us. I registered for the long hauler tickets, booked the first night hotel, and the plan is, this is the car going. Out of the 3 old cars I have, the 67 and the 84 Camaro, this one's in the best shape and drives the best and has working air conditioning. So that was the choice for me. So I do feel, though, that it's going to need some maintenance, because as it is right now, I would be feeling a little skeptical about how trustworthy it would be on a long trip, because just getting from my house to the first event in Bowling Green, Kentucky is projected to be like a 14.5-hour drive. So that's no joke, Also, being my son's with me, I'm really not looking to have breakdowns or problems like that. So, just so it happens that I moved the car last week. I had a problem with the brakes. Not really a problem, but the Power Master is the original one. It's an electric pump that provides the brake boost, and it's making a little bit of a louder noise than I'm used to hearing. Found that the fluid was low, topped it off, thought that would solve the issue. It's still kind of making the same noise. Maybe it's a little bit better. So I want to do a flush on the brake fluid, clean that all out, and if this thing's going to need replacing or rebuilding or whatever, I want to get it done now rather than later, rather than having a problem on the trip. So that's my main priority. Other things that I want to do to it, well, the tires are all fairly new, so they should be fine. The front brake pads might even be the originals on this car. Last time I checked, which was like 5 years ago, they were low. So I'm going to get some front brake pads. That's no big deal. The cooling fan situation, I know on these power tour, you know, when you get close to these venues or even along the route, you can get into some major traffic jams. And in June, it could be hot. So this is the stock cooling fan. It has a replacement radiator, which I put in maybe, I don't know, 8 years ago. Lost track. The original radiator, the car was running hot, and I took it to a radiator shop and found a lot of the core was clogged. And at the time, you know, the guy told me he could recore it. But I ended up finding a replacement for this car, which is unique to this car because it has trans-cooler lines on the front side. And then on the back side, where you would normally have the trans-cooler lines, you've got these oil cooler lines. So this is a factory GM replacement. I don't know if they even make them anymore, but they did at the time. I had to do a little bit of modifying for the transmission lines because the fittings in this new rad were not compatible with the original fittings. So I forget what I did, but you could see there's some little adapting going on there. Some rubber hoses going back to the original metal lines. But it works. It's been fine ever since. Anyway, this cooling fan is fine in normal situations, but I have gotten in traffic on hot days a couple of times, and the temperature creeps. I think the highest I ever saw it get was maybe like 212 or something around there, between 210 and 220. And there's no telling how high sometimes these things just keep going and going until you're into meltdown mode. So popular upgrade for this is a dual fan setup out of a 98 to 04 Dodge Intrepid. So I'm going to be looking to get one of those fans. And Casper's Electronics makes a plug-and-play harness adapter, so you just connect it that way. Should be an easy mod and should help out a lot, hopefully, with the cooling situation. The AC on this car does work. It's got the original R12 in it still, so hopefully that will be fine. Other than that, just, you know, I'll change the coolant, I'll change the oil, check all the fluids. Gonna do that brake flush. Theoretically, the car should be good to go. So it's mid-January right now. The tour first day is June 10th in Bowling Green, Kentucky, Beach Bend Raceway Park, I believe it's called. So I've got 5 months, a little less than 5 months to get everything done. I think I should be able to do it. I'm going to do video updates as I go, and so please, please subscribe to the channel if you're interested, and turn on the notifications so if you don't want to miss the updates. And that's pretty much it for now. I'm pretty excited. My son's excited, and it should be a pretty cool adventure, and we're really looking forward to it. Oh yeah, one other thing. A couple of years ago, I had BF Goodrich tires on here for about 10 years. And as they were getting older, the compound gets harder or whatever, and this car was skidding all over the place. Anytime you got on it, gave it any kind of power, the rear end was kicking out. A couple of times the car almost completely got away from me and went around. So even on shifts. So I got these Mickey Thompson tires. These are the ET Street SS. Basically a drag radial, street legal, which is fine, but never driven them in the rain. That is a little bit of a concern for me. So I've just got to decide if I'm going to stick with these or switching on like a regular, like this car. Because this is what I have in the front. I have Cooper Cobra. And that's what's on this car. Regular tread compound. Regular tread style. Would be a lot better in bad weather. Not as good traction, but I'm not really doing this event for racing. It's a giant cruise, so that would be more important. But, you know, we'll see what happens. If I ended up having to put a lot of money into this Power Master, I don't have a huge budget then to get new tires too. So we'll figure that out as we get closer. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment. I love to hear your comments. Tell me what you think. Is this the right car to take? Should I be taking the 67 or the 84 Camaro Z28? They're all in running condition and run well enough that I could probably do the trip. The other two have a few more problems and issues. I still have a slight vibration on my 67 driveline vibration, which I'm still working on. I think I might have an idea what it is, so if I got that fixed, that would be a big help. That car doesn't have AC. Drives very nice though anyway. And the 84 Z28 drives really well. I redid the whole AC system on there, and then the whole charge leaked out. Could probably get that going again. Just figured, I don't know, people probably don't really care about seeing a third gen Camaro on the Power Tour. Not that that really matters, but it's just like a stock 305. Not too exciting, but we do it if we have to. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think I should do, and see you on the next video. Thanks.